Hello people of the interwebs. Today we'll be teaching you how to assemble and play the saxiest instrument ever, the saxophone.
The saxophone consists of three main parts: the mouthpiece, the neck, and the body. See, the body and the neck tend to be made out of brass, while the mouthpiece can be made out of either plastic, metal, or hard rubber.
Before we even start talking about assembling your instrument, you first have to decide whether you're going to rent your instrument or buy it. As a beginner, you're probably better off renting an instrument from your school or from a music store, just to get a feel for the instrument and see whether you plan on sticking with it or switching to some other garbage.
Yeah, we don't talk about those instruments. They're just worse. Yeah,
not worth mentioning by name.
yeah, of course.
But as you become more advanced, which you will because saxophone's a great instrument, it helps you. It's your friend.
It helps you as a person.
Exactly. You should probably, so as you become more advanced, you should buy your own instrument. As rented instruments, they tend to be of lower quality, and this may affect your tone quality and general sound.
Now, some good alto saxophone models that you can buy as beginning saxophonists are the Yamaha YAS-23 or the Selmer AS-3000. If you instead want to play a manlier and overall just better instrument such as the tenor, you can play a model such as the Yamaha YTS-A2ZII.
I really hope that was unscripted. You didn't write that into the script like a jerk.
I mean, we all know the tenor's better though. Like, this. Yeah. Right.
Now that you have an instrument, regardless of whether it is a beautiful alto or kind of a meh tenor, you might want to take a look at what is probably the most important part of your saxophone, the mouthpiece. As a beginner, you'll probably start on a plastic mouthpiece such as the Yamaha 4C, but as you become more advanced, you want to consider switching to the Van Doren AL3 or TL3. A hard rubber mouthpiece is ideal, but they can tend to get a little pricey, from around $100 to $150.
A good ligature to use will be the Rovner MK3, as you can see here, okay? And a nice reed to play on with the Van Doren traditional reed.
Now that we've gathered all the materials that we require, let's actually set up the saxophone.
So the first step to do is to moisten your reed. This moisture causes the reed to vibrate, which leads to the actual sound in the instrument. Now, having a dry reed will lead to some pretty bad things, such as squeaks, an inability to play low notes, and general unpleasantness. Now, what you want to do is wet your reed for 30 seconds and make sure that you get both the top and the bottom of the reed, the front and the back. Once you have this, you want to place it on your mouthpiece. Now, ideally, you want it such that just a little bit of the mouthpiece is showing on the top. Once you have this, you want to put your ligature over the reed and onto the mouthpiece. Like so. You want the ligature to be slightly past this bridge over here. Once you have this, you want to tighten the ligature just enough so that it keeps the reed in place. But having an overly tight ligature may cause the ligature to break. So just have it just enough that the reed does not slip or move.
Now that you have your mouthpiece set up, it's time to put it onto the neck. This may be difficult the first time, so using cork grease on the cork of the neck is a good idea. How far down you place your mouthpiece on the neck is extremely important and varies from instrument to instrument. Pulling the mouthpiece closer towards you will cause each note to go flat or to be lower in pitch than it's supposed to be. Pushing the mouthpiece further into the cork will cause each note to go sharp or to be higher in pitch than it's supposed to be. You probably want to use a tuner to find the ideal mouthpiece placement, but be aware that this can change easily due to temperature or embouchure.
Before we move on to assembling saxophone, we should talk about probably the most important thing to remember, right? And this is, of course, the embouchure. Now, embouchure is the way a player applies his mouth to the mouthpiece. To have good embouchure while playing saxophone, you start by making an O shape with your mouth. O. Now roll your lips in just the smallest amount, such that they make a cushion between the reed and your mouth, but don't roll them in so much that they go in over your lower teeth. Only have the tiniest little bit of lip touching the lower teeth. Okay, once you have that, you want to lower down your upper teeth on the top of your mouth with as little pressure as possible. Now make sure you have a nice, loose, and relaxed embouchure so that your sound doesn't come out as tight or strained.
Earlier, we explained what the words sharp and flat meant, going higher or lower in pitch than normal. Embouchure is a major part of staying in tune and not going flat or sharp. If you find yourself going sharp, open up your back teeth and feel your airway expand. Imagine that a volleyball is being forced into the back of your mouth and into your throat. This technique is also useful if you struggle to play low notes. If instead you feel yourself going flat, tighten up your embouchure a bit. Each note on the instrument has a different pitch tendency. For example, D often tends to be sharp and C often tends to be flat.
Now let's put our neck onto the body. Make sure not to tighten this screw too tightly or else it'll break. See, now we have to figure out how to handle the saxophone. Okay? Take your left hand and place it on this black circle right here. Then take your palm and wrap it around the palm keys. Take your second, third, and fourth fingers and place it on the second, fourth, and fifth keys. Then take your right thumb and put it up against this thumb rest right here. And take your second, third, and fourth fingers and place it on the remaining keys. While playing, you want to always keep your fingers as close as possible to the keys and press them each lightly. If you press it too heavily, you won't be able to play fast at all.
With your instrument now all set up, let's play a little tune. A personal favorite of ours is Hot Cross Buns. To play this song, you'll need to know the notes B, A, and G. These are probably the easiest notes on this instrument. To play a B, you have to press down the first key on your left hand. To play an A, just add the second key. And to play a G, just press all three keys. Now that we know all of the notes, let's play it together.
Wasn't that fun?
Yeah!
In this video, you learned how to play the saxophone and make some beautiful sounds. But now we're going to talk about something that a lot of people neglect. Okay? Taking proper care of the instrument. Now the first step you want to do is take the reed off of the mouthpiece and put it back into its case. If you don't, then mold will start to grow, and nobody wants that. Now we're going to take the mouthpiece off of the neck and put it back. Then take the neck off of the body and you want to run a swab through it. Now this swab will help keep the neck nice and clean and ensure that nothing grows inside of it. A typical swab will only cost you a couple dollars, but will keep your instrument in quality condition for years to come. You want to do the same thing for your body. Just place it in with the cord first, then stick the cloth in. Flip the saxophone over, and the cord comes right out. Now you probably want to do this a couple times to ensure its cleanness, but you're only going to do it once for the sake of time. Just put it back into the case. And that's it. That's all you need to play the saxophone and have a good time practicing.